What's going on, guys? JFC here. I want to talk today about the most underrated players in FIFA 23. I just made a video recently about the best players in FIFA 23, so if you want to go watch that, you sure can. The players in this video, though, are going to be cards that are almost as good as those cards, if not just about the same level, but also could be a little bit cheaper than those cards, and just cards that maybe you wouldn't expect to be very good, or they just play above their stats kind of cards, right? Of course, are they going to be Mbappe, Cruyff, R9 level? No, because no cards are. But these cards are going to be a lot cheaper, and just might be a little more fun to use, because believe it or not everybody wants to just use Mbappe and Alaouira up top every single game, even though EA force us to kind of play as competitive as possible. So I've tried a bunch of different cards this year. I've tried pretty much as many cards as I possibly can. Is it good for my coin balance? Not at all, but it's worth it to try out a bunch of players. It is fun to do that, and also let you guys know what are, pretty underrated cards in FIFA, because, you never know without trying cards, right, how good they're going to be. So we're going to fill out every single position here with cards that I think are pretty slept on in this game. We are going to start with goalkeeper. Now, goalkeeper's, of course, a bit, on the hit or miss side, right? Goalkeepers all kind of play similar. Some maybe play a little bit better than others, but there's not too much of a difference. What I will say, though, is that Jan Oblak, I don't see anybody ever use this card because he's hard to link, but this card's really good, honestly. I think he's almost as good as Thibaut Courtois, kind of like the consensus best keeper in the game. But because of the Slovenia and Atletico Madrid links, it's a little bit harder to link this guy, but he's very good. The traits of log throw and come for crosses are always fantastic, and he has great stats, obviously. Oblak's pretty slept on, honestly, in FIFA, I will say. And then someone who I always have trouble playing against is somebody who is like, if you pack this guy, you're usually pretty upset because it's like in a hero pack or whatever. But Dudek, I've always had problems playing against this card. He's 6'2" with pretty good stats. Cautious with crosses trait is never really what you want, but I swear for shot stopping, this Dudek card is honestly really, really good. And obviously gets great links for the Premier League players. So if you need Prem links or anything like that, pop this Dudek card and I think he will definitely do a job for you. So we'll put Dudek in there because I think he's probably the most underrated if I had to guess. Now for right back, I'm not going to say too much because I genuinely think the best right back in the game is gold Kyle Walker, and he's so cheap that it's kind of like, what's even the point in doing this? So I'm not going to say a Premier League right back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick somebody who like Kyle Walker would not link with at all, right? Kyle Walker and gold Hakimi. I'm going to pick guys who would not link with gold Hakimi or gold Kyle Walker, because like those are obviously like two of the best right backs in the game still. But the person that doesn't link to either of those guys is Thomas Meunier. I've had this Meunier card for a long time, and he just is really solid at right back. He's 6'3", so obviously tall fullbacks is what I really like this year, and that 6'3" is probably the tallest fullback you're going to find. 87 strength, solid defending. The passing is pretty good too, which is actually pretty important for a right back. 89 crossing if you're a guy who likes to cross, with 94 sprint speed is always fantastic. And outside foot shot trait, which is the best the best trait in the game, so I guess add that onto the list as well. Yeah, I really think Meunier slept on card for like 11,000 coins or whatever. It's a beast of a card. The first center back is going to be actually a World Cup hero, and it's actually a base CDM, and that's going to be Rafael Marquez. You can obviously play center back, so it doesn't need to be changed in-game. You can actually just change him with the position modifier. He's 6 foot, medium high, but this card is just really fantastic with the physical stats. The 90 strength, 89 aggression is awesome. Defending stats are exceptional. To me, he's just in that tier, like one below the Lucios and World Cup story Van Dijks of the world, right? You can even play this card at DM too, and he's actually not that bad. Like, he just is, his defending stats are insane. I definitely think Rafael Marquez is pretty underrated as a center back in this game for sure. Next one I want to talk about is Nico Schlotterbeck. A Schlotterbeck card, 6'3". He's gotten a lot of nice upgrades because of his ones to watch card getting upgraded. This card's really, really good, honestly. If you need a Bundesliga center back, if you are looking for some cheap options, like Schlotterbeck and Meunier as your center back and right back, that's a wonderful combo for super cheap. This card's really, really nice. Simone Kjaer is another one I think is really, really underrated. I've talked about this guy before. 6'3", low, high work rates with great physicals. Composure is the only thing that like I would change about this card. It's only 75, which isn't great. But I used him for like 20 games, and I liked him a lot. Honestly, I really did. I think this card is really nice. But for the guy I think I'm going to choose for this second center back slot is Bremer. And the reason being is that you don't really see Bremer very often, because this card's, it's in the power curve, but it's like a little bit behind. It was released a long time ago, but for whatever reason, Bremer in game, he has like the body type that you just can't seem to pass. He's insanely fast. He's got lengthy with a shadow. His physicals are 86 strength, 86 aggression, which is nice. I don't know what it is about Bremer, but this card is nuts. I honestly think he's just below that tier of the Lucios and Van Dijks of the world as well. So if this card gets like another upgrade, or not, not this specific card, but if Bremer gets another special card that's even better, just keep an eye out for this Bremer card. I don't know what it is. Just if you've used him, you know what I mean. His body type is crazy in game. For left backs, like it's same thing as almost the right back position, because if we just scroll down here, we're gonna get to eventually gold Ferland Mendy, who's just gonna be like meta until team of the season. Like Ferland Mendy is just a joke how good he is in FIFA, and because he's so cheap, like why would you not go for Mendy? So let's pick somebody who like that would not link to that Mendy at all. I'm going to go with this Hincapie card. I think that's how you say it. Hincapie. He's medium, 6 foot is always nice. Gonna have max pace, and his defending is good. Physicals are good. Passing 85 short, 81 long. So really, he just does a job for you. He's not gonna be absolutely amazing, but you can find a lot worse, considering like Bundesliga left backs are not necessarily the easiest to find, right? They have Alphonso Davies and nobody else. So I really do like this card. I think he is pretty solid. CDM's a little interesting. We're gonna talk about guys who are like holding DMs and also just kind of like box-to-box midfielders. I want to start with this Yuri Tielemans card, and the reason being is that yes, he only has 73 pace. He's medium, 5'9". There's things to not like about this card, but there's like a certain kind of player that is going to absolutely love this card. If you're a guy who, I guess, like, if you're more of a long ball player, you don't need pace in your midfield very much. Like, this card does an incredible job, and it's going to do an incredible job for a certain play style out there. So I don't want you to sleep on this card for sure, because he got the 5-star weak foot, so he's just going to spray out long balls like crazy. I think he has the long passer. Yeah, the long passer trait. He has, like, crazy passing in this game. So I would not sleep on this Yuri Tielemans card for sure. I think Michael Essien as a CDM is pretty slept on every single year, honestly. He's high work rates. His interceptions in game are insane. Physical stats are insane. Great passing. I think Essien every year is slept on, honestly. This Casemiro card is like almost good. You know, he just needs a little more pace in my opinion after the new patch. So we're going to get a new Casemiro card in this new promo. So I would want to try him out, his new card. I would expect, you know, if he has like 75 pace instead of 65, that Casemiro is probably going to enter this sort of like underrated player range. But we'll just have to see when he drops, right? Let's look at base center mid now. I think Milinkovic-Savic, I know we can only play center mid, which kind of sucks. If you don't need high agility and balance in your players, Milinkovic-Savic is honestly really good. Listen, I know this guy's a World Cup icon and that kind of stuff, but I do think he's pretty slept on. Bastian Schweinsteiger, high work rate, 6 foot. I mean, you get that pace up, and what's his worst stat? Like 79 agility. This card you can play as a DM, as a center mid. Like, I love Schweinsteiger in FIFA, honestly. His prime, I love his prime. I think don't sleep on Bastian Schweinsteiger. I also love Andrea Pirlo in this game. With the 5-star skills, right now, because he's like 99 passing effectively, because at this stage in FIFA, there's not as many players with like 99 passing effectively and crazy high dribbling stats. So especially for like prime Pirlo, as we get to like, you know, January, February, March, I think that for at least those months, I think Pirlo is going to be really good for you. I love Andrea Pirlo in FIFA just because of how good he feels in the ball and the fact that his passing is just outrageous. For the two most underrated ones, I think I'm going to go Tielemans for 1. I think for 2, I'm going to go with Milinkovic-Savic. So for cams now, let's start with cams and we'll look at like wingers after that. I want to start, and I see him already, and it's Roberto Baggio. And I know like Baggio's a World Cup icon and he's expensive, right? Like how can he be really underrated? I just don't think, like, if you ask people who's the best cam in FIFA, I don't think anyone's really going to say Baggio. And Roberto Baggio, like the only thing that really keeps him every single year from being a top player is stamina, only 76, and shot power, 73. Of course, there's some other stats in there, but like those are the two main ones. But this year, I don't really use shot power that much. The way I finish this year is I literally tap circle for the most part in the box. I don't really use shot power. So I didn't notice that being a problem at all. And I think Baggio, just because his dribbling is so smooth, finesse shot trait, and he's got great passing. I like Baggio a lot this year. Alawayron is next. This guy's got 99 pace. Nah, I'm just kidding, guys. This guy just haunts everyone's nightmares. I'll be singing Socrates' praises until the day I die. Socrates is, I'm telling you, every single year in FIFA, he's good, all right? People sleep on him. Mr. Especially, you need physical stats this year. At least, I mean, you don't need them, but they are very important this year. And Socrates has them. And I'm telling you right now, Socrates is fantastic. Sofiane Boufal is literally insane. This card with a 95 dribbling is outrageous. I don't care he's Liga and Moroccan. I don't care. This card's nuts. I'm telling you right now, use him and you will enjoy him. So for the most underrated cam, I'll put in Boufal because I want people to like not sleep on this card, all right? This card's sick. Let's look at wingers now. I still think this Correa card's in the power curve. I know it's crazy to say that. And this card's not really underrated necessarily like for the course of the whole FIFA cycle, but I think right now people probably wouldn't look to him as like a card to use because he's been out for so long. I'm telling you right now, his Correa card's still really good. Outside foot shot trade, of course. The shooting stats are still fantastic. Like if you need a card to use that's in La Liga, go for Angel Correa for sure. Let's say Yannick Carrasco next, mainly because I just don't see anybody ever use this card. I just never see anybody use this card. This card's good. Outside foot shot trade and flare trade, of course, with solid shooting, passing, and dribbling. I mean, it's just a good card, simple as. And 6'1", high, and 4-star. It's a rare entire trio right there. Next is Christian Pulisic. All right, I'm not saying this just because I'm American. All right, maybe I am, but I am going to say his card's actually a lot better than maybe he would seem. The dribbling is really what makes his card, honestly, and I liked his finishing. So 88 short pass. I know the long pass isn't there, but he's got 91 vision. I like this card a lot. Injury prone trait. How could you not like that? He's underrated. All right, he's underrated. I'm gonna say it. Next, I'm gonna say Anthony. Now I know Anthony's not like, he's very hyped up in FIFA, right? But I do actually think, you would see 80 shooting and probably be like, hey, you can't really use this card right now. I believe you can. Honestly, I love Anthony in FIFA. His shooting always feels better than what it suggests. With outside foot shot trait, I think this card's good. And he has a 3-star weak foot, not a 2, which is actually a pretty important difference. A 3-star weak foot can still occasionally score on that like weak foot. A 2-star weak foot's basically just, it's never going to happen. So I will say Anthony is probably still in the power curve, honestly. I will say that. Jesus Corona, he's 5'5", and you might say, like, where do you play this card? Is he a winger? He's got 75 finishing. Is he a center mid? Well, he's got 74 defending and 60 strength. Where do you play this card? Honestly, just find a place to play this card. Every time I've played against him, he's just been a nightmare. He's destroyed me. I don't know what it is about this Corona. I use him myself as a center mid. I thought he was fine. But, dude, every time I play against this card, he just wrecks me. So, play him on the wing if you want to. He scored hat tricks against me. I don't know. Corona's a beast. Last but not least, don't sleep on Stoichi, all right? Stoichkov is good. He's got, look at his stats all around. The only reason he's not even more expensive because of his 3-star weak foot. Like I said, 3-star weak foot isn't perfect, but you can actually still somewhat use that right foot. Other than that, like if it wasn't for that weak foot, this card's absolutely insane. This is his mid. You can use his World Cup icon card as an SBC. Don't sleep on Stoichkov, all right? But for the winger that I'm going to say is very slept on, Christian Pulisic. He's really good. On to striker. Let's pick a couple. If you're not a huge pace guy, Papin is still really good. His shooting is like elite. You'll know what I mean when you use him. It's like anything he shoots seems to go in. So if that's something like you struggle with, if you struggle with finishing in this game, use him and maybe that'll like help you out some. I also think Lautaro Martinez is a slept on card. I don't see this card enough for how good he is. 94 finishing on this card. To go along with 94 aggression, 88 strength, like with fantastic dribbling and solid passing for a striker. Outside foot shot trait, there's nothing more you want from a striker. Lautaro Martinez is sick. I need to see him more in teams. You're going to like him a lot if you use him. Devor Suker, all right, I know that there's not a whole lot of hype around this card, but Suker is so good considering like what his price ends up being. Outside foot shot trait, chip shot trait, his finishing's outrageously good. 86 pace is probably right on that board. That's good enough for a striker. I love Suker, 4'4" as well, 6 foot. Give him a try if you've never used him before. Gonzalo Ramos, I'm gonna say right now, like I think this card's still out. Please, if you have like spare fodder, don't hesitate to do this card. I love him. 6'1", 4'4", wonderful physicals, good shooting, finesse shot trait. Ramos, don't sleep on him, all right? Don't sleep on this Ramos card. Very good. All right, I know this one might be a little outrageous, all right? I know that, but I'm telling you, Peter Crouch, he's pretty good. I'm gonna be honest. With the 4-star skills boost that he got, if you can handle the fact he doesn't have a ton of pace, even though he's got lengthy with the right chem style, his shooting's really good, and just the fact that he's 6'7", he will, at least on next gen, right? Take this as a next gen thing, because like next gen headers always make a lot more sense, at least, than the old gen headers. Peter Crouch will literally win every single aerial duel ever. All right, this card, you underestimate just how much that helps until you have someone like him in your team. I'm not saying you're going to go 20-0 with this card by any means, but what I will say is all things considered, you can use him and have fun, all right? I'm just going to say it right now. Peter Crouch is not that bad. It might be a little outrageous for me, but I'm telling you right now, he's pretty good. So I'm going to put Lautaro as that one striker because I think Lautaro is honestly way too good for the fact that he's cheap and the fact I literally never play against that card ever. I'm going to put World Cup icon Suker as the next one because I just think that Suker's a very slept on card, very underrated. And you look at this team, I don't think, how many times you guys play against cards that are from this team? I would say it's not very often. I will say these cards are very good. I don't think they're quite as good as the Mbappe R9 tier because they're just never going to be, right? None of these cards are going to be. But I will say you can have a lot of fun with these cards and they're very good. They're a lot better than I think their stats may suggest. But I want to hear who you guys think is underrated because obviously there's so many players in the game. I haven't been able to use every single one of them, right? I've used a lot of them, but there's someone in this video who maybe isn't quite top tier meta that you think deserves to be in a list like something like this. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Thank you guys for watching. I love all of you and I'll see you next video very, very soon. Peace.